यान अपनी उद्दिष्ट दिशा का निर्धारण करते हुए अपने मिशन को पूरा करने के लिए अग्रसर है।
We are 111 seconds into the flight.
यहाँ इसकी पुष्टि हो चुकी है। द्वितीय चरण का प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है, जो कि L110 चरण है। इसका प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है। अब दोनों स्टेप ऑन बूस्टर्स और L110 चरण एक साथ प्रज्वलित हैं।
The L110 stage and the two S200 boosters.
Both S200 motors separated.
Just now we have had a confirmation of the separation of the two S200 boosters.
रेंज ऑपरेशन निदेशक द्वारा इसकी पुष्टि की गई। दोनों S200 बूस्टर को यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है। इसमें लगे जेटिसनिंग मोटर की मदद से उसे यान से सफलतापूर्वक और सुरक्षापूर्वक पृथक कर दिया जाता है।
We are 160 seconds into the flight. Current altitude 104 kilometers.
वर्तमान में L110 यानी द्वितीय चरण प्रज्वलित है।
Payload fairing separated plus 3 minutes. Closed loop guidance initiated.
यान से ऊष्मा कवच को पृथक कर दिया गया है। अब यान 123 किलोमीटर की ऊंचाई पर प्राप्त कर चुका है और वर्तमान में यान क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत स्वतः दिशा निर्धारण कर रहा है।
The closed loop guidance has been initiated for LVM-3 launch vehicle. Hereafter, the rocket will use real-time data from onboard sensors to continuously correct its flight path. The payload fairing has been already jettisoned as the rocket has cleared the dense atmosphere.
तरल नोदक पर आधारित यह चरण दो उच्च प्रणोद वाले विकास इंजन की मदद से कुल 1600 किलो न्यूटन का प्रणोद उत्पन्न करते हैं। इंजन की अधिकतम प्रभावी क्षमता प्राप्त करने के लिए ईंधन और ऑक्सीडाइजर का खास अनुपात मिलाकर यह प्राप्त किया जाता है। इस चरण का प्रज्वलन का लगभग 200 सेकंड का होगा। इस चरण में यान में लगे एक्सेलेरोमीटर और जायरोस की मदद से इंजन जिम्बल किया जाता है और यह क्लोज लूप गाइडेंस के अंतर्गत अपनी दिशा निर्धारण करता है।
First stage performance normal.
The second stage L110 is continuing its operation. The two Vikas engines together generating 1600 kilonewton thrust. The tracking station at Shah Sriharikota continues to track.
जी हाँ, यान पूर्णतः सामान्य निष्पादन करता हुआ अपेक्षित पथ का अनुकरण करता हुआ उद्दिष्ट मिशन की ओर बढ़ रहा है।
Stage authorization issued.
तृतीय चरण यानी क्रायो स्टेज चरण को अनुमोदित कर दिया गया है।
Shah and BlueBird ground stations continue to acquire data.
L110 stays separated. Cryo stage ignition command. Cryo stage ignition confirmed.
यहाँ सभी वैज्ञानिकों के लिए ये एक हर्ष का पल होता है। रेंज निदेशक द्वारा भी इसकी पुष्टि की गई। द्वितीय चरण को सफलतापूर्वक बनकर यान से पृथक कर दिया गया है तथा अंतिम चरण तृतीय चरण प्रज्वलन शुरू हो चुका है।
Now the third stage of LVM-3 rocket, the cryogenic stage, has commenced its operation.
Cryo stage performance normal.
It is thrusting nominally with 28.6 tons of cumulative propellant loading of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. The engine develops 200 kilonewtons thrust.
LVM-3 रॉकेट के ऊपरी चरण जो कि क्रायोजेनिक अपर स्टेज कहलाता है, क्योंकि इसमें क्रायो ईंधन लिक्विड हाइड्रोजन तथा लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन का प्रयोग होता है। यह इंजन गैस टरबाइन की मदद से लगभग 200 किलो न्यूटन का सामान्य प्रणोद उत्पन्न करता है। इस चरण का कार्यकाल 648 सेकंड का होगा। इस चरण का व्यास 4 मीटर तथा ऊंचाई 13.5 मीटर की होती है। इस चरण में दिशा निर्धारण के लिए इंजन जिम्बल कंट्रोल और रिएक्शन कंट्रोल सिस्टम्स का प्रयोग किया जाता है। इस चरण में कुल 28.6 टन क्रायो ईंधन का भराव हुआ है और यह अपनी उद्दिष्ट कक्षा की ओर अग्रसर है। क्रायो चरण सबसे जटिल इंजन माना जाता है क्योंकि क्रायो ईंधन जैसे लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन जिसका कि बॉइलिंग पॉइंट -253 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड और लिक्विड ऑक्सीजन का बॉइलिंग पॉइंट -183 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड होता है। इस तापमान में ईंधन को तरल बनाए रखना और इनका कार्यान्वयन करना सबसे जटिल कार्य होता है, लेकिन भारत अब इसमें पूर्णतः स्वायत्ता प्राप्त कर चुका है। इस चरण को इसरो नोदक कॉम्प्लेक्स महेंद्रगिरी में तैयार तथा परीक्षित किया गया है।
The cryogenic stage C25 is powered by CE20 engines using liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. It delivers 200 kilonewton thrust and adds significant delta V of 3.89 kilometers per second by the end of its operation for the present mission. The stage operates on gas generator cycle. It works by burning a small fraction of propellant in a side chamber to power turbo pumps, while the majority of propellant goes into the main chamber for thrust. It's a highly reliable cryogenic engine operating principle. For the present mission, upper stage operates for 12 minutes and 20 seconds.
वर्तमान में पोर्ट ब्लेयर स्थित रडार स्टेशन हम तक आंकड़े उपलब्ध करा रहे हैं, जिससे हमें यह जानकारी मिल रही है कि यान पूरी तरह सुरक्षित और सामान्य प्रदर्शन कर रहा है और अपने उद्दिष्ट पथ की ओर अग्रसर है। LVM-3 M6 के समर्पित वाणिज्यिक मिशन में यह उपग्रह ब्लूबर्ड ब्लॉक 2 जो कि अब तक का सबसे भारी संचार उपग्रह माना जा रहा है, यह लगभग 6100 किलोग्राम भारी है। यह उपग्रह निम्न पृथ्वी कक्षा में सीधे मोबाइल तक ब्रॉडबैंड कवरेज प्रदान करने में सक्षम है, जो वैश्विक रूप से दूरस्थ, ग्रामीण, समुद्री और असेवित क्षेत्रों के लिए लक्षित है। अंतरिक्ष प्रौद्योगिकी और मोबाइल की दुनिया में क्रांतिक तकनीक का प्रदर्शन करने वाला यह उपग्रह, इसे संयुक्त राज्य अमेरिका के AST SpaceMobile ने तैयार किया है। यह उपग्रहों का नक्षत्र तैयार करने जा रहे हैं, जिसकी मदद से मौजूदा स्मार्टफोन में किसी भी समय और दूरस्थ क्षेत्रों में भी इंटरनेट सेवाएं उपलब्ध करा सकेंगे। इस तकनीक के लिए इसमें सबसे बड़े व्यावसायिक फेज्ड एरे एंटीना तैनात किए गए हैं, जो विस्तृत होकर लगभग 2400 वर्ग फुट तक फैल जाएंगे। इसमें संवर्धन कर पूर्ववर्ती ब्लूबर्ड उपग्रहों की तुलना में 10 गुना अधिक डेटा प्रसारण की क्षमता बनाई गई है। यह 4G तथा 5G जैसी सुविधाओं को सीधे अंतरिक्ष से मोबाइल तक पहुंचाने में सक्षम होंगे और वर्तमान में यह ब्लूबर्ड ब्लॉक 2 एक बड़े नक्षत्र के बेड़े में शामिल होने जा रहा है।
The BlueBird Block-2 communication satellite developed by AST SpaceMobile of USA is the heaviest payload the LVM-3 rocket has so far carried. The satellite is a part of the next generation of BlueBird communication satellites designed to provide space-based cellular broadband connectivity directly to standard mobile smartphones.
Cryo stage performance normal.
This constellation of satellites will enable 4G and 5G voice and video calls, texts, streaming and data for everyone, everywhere at all times. It features a 223 square meter phased array, making it the largest commercial communication satellite ever deployed in low Earth orbit.
Plus 11 minutes.
The launch window for this launch is razor thin. The target orbit requires exact phasing and there is a need to ensure global coverage. One of the important global orbital parameters is the right extension of ascending node or RAN. It is the angle measured eastward from the vernal equinox to the point where a satellite crosses the equator going north. It defines the orientation of the orbital plane in space. Two satellites with the same inclination and attitude but different RAN are in different orbital planes. by combining run spacing or the plane distribution and phasing by way of satellite spacing, constellations achieve near global coverage. To insert satellites into specific run slots, launches must occur at precise times when the launch site aligns with the designed orbital plane. This mission is being undertaken as a part of commercial agreement between NSIL and AST and Science LLC, a US-based company.
तृतीय और अंतिम चरण का प्रज्वलन जारी है। LVM-3 M6 अपने मिशन की ओर अग्रसर। LVM-3 प्रमोचक यान नए यानों की श्रेणी में 5वीं पीढ़ी का प्रमोचक यान है, जिसकी क्षमता 10,000 किलोग्राम वाले उपग्रह को निम्न भूकक्षा में ले जाने की है। LVM-3 के पिछले मिशनों में भारत का गौरव बढ़ाने वाले चंद्रयान-2, चंद्रयान-3, संचार उपग्रह CMS-03 और वाणिज्यिक मिशन में OneWeb India 1, OneWeb India 2 मिशन का सफलतापूर्वक हमने देखा।
13 minutes.
यह इस प्रमोचन यान की 6वीं प्रचालनरत उड़ान है और तीसरी वाणिज्यिक उड़ान है। अब तक पूर्ण विश्वसनीयता के साथ सभी मिशन को पूरा करने LVM-3 रॉकेट इस बार भी सज्ज है LVM-3 M6 BlueBird Block-2 मिशन को पूरा करने के लिए। अब हम उड़ान से 815 सेकंड की दूरी पर आ चुके हैं। वर्तमान में यान की ऊंचाई 526 किलोमीटर तथा सापेक्ष गति 6.17 किलोमीटर प्रति सेकंड है।
Cryo stage performance normal. Plus 14 minutes.
We are 14 minutes past the launch time. The cryogenic stage presently thrusting. The trajectory of the rocket precisely following the prediction.
तृतीय चरण पूर्णतः सामान्य, अपने अपेक्षित पथ का अनुकरण करते हुए उद्दिष्ट पथ की ओर जा रहा है और कुछ ही क्षणों में हम देखेंगे कि तृतीय चरण को कक्षा की स्थितियां प्राप्त होने पर स्वतः बंद कर दिया जाएगा और तत्पश्चात हमारे ब्लूबर्ड ब्लॉक 2 उपग्रह को कक्षा में स्थापित किया जाएगा।
A relative velocity of 7.07 kilometers per second has been acquired so far.
Cryo stage performance normal.
The cryo stage is expected to perform till
Cryo stage shut off.
And here we have a confirmation of the
Satellite
shut off
injection conditions achieved.
the shut off of cryo stage and eager awaiting for the satellite deployment.
BlueBird Block-2 satellite separated. LVM-3 M6 BlueBird Block-2 mission successfully accomplished. Handing over to mission director.
अभी रेंज निदेशक को आपने सुना।
Block-2 spacecraft is successfully injected into the specified orbit. LVM-3 M6 mission is successfully accomplished.
ये सभी के लिए हर्ष और उत्साह का पल यहाँ पर, जिसमें इस मिशन में ब्लूबर्ड ब्लॉक 2 उपग्रह को सफलतापूर्वक उद्दिष्ट कक्षा में स्थापित कर दिया गया है।
We have had a successful mission of LVM-3 M6 BlueBird Block-2 mission. Congratulations to Team ISRO, Team NSIL and the customers AST SpaceMobile. Do stay connected for the address by Secretary DOS, Chairman ISRO Dr. V. Narayanan and senior executives. We sign off from the commentary box. Namaskar.
जी, हम आपसे आज्ञा लेते हैं। सभी दर्शकों और इनके उपभोक्ताओं जो इस मिशन से जुड़े हुए हैं, आप सभी को बहुत शुभकामनाएं। धन्यवाद।
All right, what an awe-inspiring moment. Now, for more on this, we have with us Dr. Raju Garudachar, former ISRO scientist, also Manish Purohit, former ISRO scientist as well, and Nambi Narayanan. Thank you, former ISRO scientist. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast this morning. There we have the successful launch of the BlueBird 6. It was a historic moment indeed. I want to come to you, Dr. Garudachar, first. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling obviously very much excited and thrilled to see that this particular BlueBird satellite is already in orbit successfully. We look forward to watching the deployment of the solar panel, which would have already happened now automatically. Then the deployment of the antenna, the phased array antenna, the large one. So we'll look forward to the complete success and when it is declared operational in the future, in the near, maybe a few days, onboard performances will all be checked. Each and every subsystem will be checked. Make sure that all of them are working healthy with healthy parameters, power system, thermal, as well as communication system. What is known as on-orbit testing. On-orbit testing is to be completed. And I am personally looking forward to see that the first signals from the communication satellite reaches the ground to the subscribers. Thank you.
Right, now Dr. Nambi Narayanan, thank you so much for staying on with us. Let me just come to you. Of course, we saw that there was a razor-thin window for this launch. ISRO's Bahubali has successfully lifted off. It's injected the BlueBird 6. What can you tell us? Dr. Narayanan, can you hear me? All right, we will try and connect with Dr. Narayan in just a few moments from now. We also have with us Dr. Manish Purohit. Dr. Purohit, let me just come to you. Of course, we were given to understand that this was a very razor-thin launch window that this particular vehicle had. What's your take on the success of this mission?
That LVM-3 Bahubali rocket M6 launch vehicle has successfully and precisely injected the BlueBird Block-2 communication satellite in the intended orbit. This is the first dedicated commercial launch for a customer from USA, that is AST SpaceMobile. Let me congratulate the New Space India Limited, the launch vehicle teams of the Department of Space, and the satellite project team of AST SpaceMobile on this outstanding achievement and contribution for the global community. This is our 104th launch from Sriharikota, also the 9th successful mission of LVM-3 launch vehicle, demonstrating its 100% reliability. As all of you may recall, we had the LVM-3 launch just last month, 2nd November 2025. This is also the first time we have a back-to-back mission of LVM-3 within just 52 days. It's a great achievement and a great target achieved as per the vision of our Honorable Prime Minister of India. This was not an easy task considering the enormous efforts required, because it requires very close coordination among various teams at different ISRO centers, units, industry, launch complex, and the entire infrastructure availability. I take this opportunity to congratulate each and every team members for achieving this great feat for our country. Today's mission has brought yet another important glory to the India. This is the heaviest satellite ever lifted from Indian soil using a Indian launcher. This is also the third fully commercial mission of LVM-3, and the vehicle has demonstrated its excellent track record, including the Chandrayaan-2, Chandrayaan-3, OneWeb missions and CMS-3 satellite. This has injected in the orbit. Dear friends, I am extremely happy to announce the performance of the orbit. What we have got is less than 2 kilometer dispersion we have got. This is one of the best performance of any launch vehicle in the global arena. With this mission, India has successfully launched 434 satellites for 34 countries. In today's mission, as I told, all the vehicle systems have performed extremely well. We have also, for the first time, inducted electromechanical actuation control system for the S-200, which is also successfully demonstrated for the first time. This gives us great confidence for the Gaganyaan program. And this achievement is because of the guidance, mentorship given by our elders, the robust review mechanism, heart and smart work of every Department of Space team members, our industrial partners, academia, for their outstanding contribution. On this occasion, let me also thank our mentors for the strong foundation made for us to stand great and accomplish this type of great missions. Also, let me take the opportunity to thank AST SpaceMobile for having great confidence on Indian launcher and giving this opportunity for accomplishing this great feat. Even though a launch vehicle mission is a very, very tough job, today, the way the launcher has performed, that demonstrate the confidence and the single-minded devotion and hard and smart work of every members of the space activity. Let me congratulate all the review team members, audit committee members, and the entire elders, all the elders, and our family members on this great occasion. As you all know, the reward for hard work is more work. We are having lot of program in our hand, and we have to accomplish everything perfectly in a very systematic way. Right now, the orbit details are with me. We intended to achieve 520 kilometer circular orbit. What we have got is close to 518.5 kilometer circular orbit. That is the performance of this vehicle. With this, right now, we are having the leaders of Indian space program with me. So first, let me ask the project director and the mission director, Mr. Victor Joseph, to address the gathering. Mr. Victor.
Thank you, sir. So, very good morning to everyone. And once again, LVM-3 has risen to the occasion. Respected Chairman ISRO, former Chairman, Center Directors, senior colleagues, and all those attending here and online, today we have the 9th consecutive successful flight of LVM-3 and the 3rd international collaborative mission for LVM-3. And today we successfully launched the heaviest satellite ever lifted from Indian soil, the BlueBird Block-2, and placed it accurately in the designated orbit. On this significant occasion, I sincerely thank our respected chairman for his continued leadership, guidance and encouragement, and I also acknowledge the steady support provided by all center directors throughout this mission. I thank the efforts of NSIL team for their effective coordination, and I thank AST for placing the trust in LVM-3 for this very important launch. And special appreciation to all the review forums whose rigorous and timely evaluations ensured mission readiness at every stage. My sincere thanks goes to the development teams across all the launch vehicles. Our industry.
All right, let's just go across to Dr. Garudachar first. Now, Doctor, it is mission accomplished. Of course, beyond the scientific jargon there, we also heard the ISRO chief announcing the success of this mission. If you could just tell, for the benefit of our viewers, what this really means for India.
Okay, this question is for me. I think there's a great confidence that has been vested in ISRO community, the launch vehicle team, as well as the other ground support system, and the safety and the other related ground stations, as well as support throughout the world. Not only whenever we launch a satellite, it's not only just a launch vehicle tracked from Sriharikota or Indian ground station, but the support comes from the entire global community where we have our own ISRO satellite ground station, ground control points, as well as they are supported by other agencies with whom we have collaboration to ensure every small details are properly, tracked, and every moment is reported suitably to take any action required by the team. So this is a great moment for all of us. Again, I'm telling you that second time that of course this is a very, as Chairman ISRO said, the reward of the work is more work. Reward of the work is more work. That means people have confidence in us. The global community has seen that we can perform, and it's a very important and very also encouraging moment and very pride moment for the whole country that we have been able to launch so many satellites. I was listening to chairman's, according to his words, it's 34 countries. 34 countries around the globe have been able to able to depend on, I should say, have confidence in our launch vehicle. So whether low Earth orbit or even geosynchronous satellite orbit, we have the capability, and we have launched the highest mass, almost 6,600 plus 6,000 tons, 6,000 plus tons, and of course the low Earth orbit, 500 plus kilometers. We can launch even higher to higher orbits. Of course, they'll slightly reduce the payload weight, and that shows our confidence and our confidence, the world's space agency's confidence. Now, this system LVM3, I should say, it will be announced by ISRO that is an operational system. An operational system is we should have normally
Right.
understanding is successive 3 successes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, we also have with us Mr. Nambi Narayanan, former ISRO scientist. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Of course, a huge moment for India. This is obviously a display of India's prowess in the space sector. How do you assess this moment? How are you feeling, sir?
Certainly, I am very happy. And what should I say? That this is the moment for which we were waiting for. Actually, this is the third commercial launch for this vehicle. And this demonstrates that we are capable of lifting a very heavy payload to the low Earth orbit and also meet the requirements of the client, who is an American company. Now, this will continue. Now this guy, after seeing this is successful, and I don't know the cost of it, but the cost, I'm sure it will be cheaper than any other cost which others are going to quote. So it's a huge success for us, and also it will enable us to earn a lot of money from international community. Now that's what I am happy about.
All right. All right. Now, Dr. And just to now further to that, just to expand on that also, what the ISRO chief said, the reward for good work is more work, and the work for the BlueBird 6 is only just begun. What are some of the things that you will be looking out for now that it has been injected into its designated orbit?
Well, as Narayanan said, it is reward is more work. It is true, but more work means you need more money, and I think ISRO has rightly chosen the private partners, private companies, to share some of the workload of ISRO, which will certainly help us a lot, because we don't have to worry about it. But here the problem is the companies need experienced and most probably some of the retired ISRO engineers or some of the engineers who are about to retire. There must be some understanding. With that, even the people who can continue to work in ISRO can be deputed to work in the company. Because this is going to be a very big workload. I'm sure that ISRO needs this help. I think this is what I'm worried about. But it will happen, because even this mission, they have done it in a very short notice. And of course, this was a professional takeoff and a professional performance. I found most of them are not at all under tension. They were happy even before the launch. So that shows our confidence level is high. Now, that's what it is. Yeah.
Right, so now of course with ISRO's Bahubali successfully lifting off, now this mission being such a huge success, for the benefit of our viewers, if you could explain, we were watching all the 3 stages with bated breath. As a scientist, what does that moment mean for you?
Well, I don't want to dwell upon the various issues which had directly. We have gone through a mill. It was not just like that we have achieved this mission. This mission, namely that achieving the ability to lift and getting into the commercial market, was exactly not going to be liked by many people. So I am talking about other countries. So you have to come across, you have to go through this mill. Now you have established your position. Now this will bring you a lot of requirements. So many people, every country needs some kind of a business proposal. So I feel as a scientist, I was actually working towards this goal long back. But though it is late, I'm still alive to see that we have achieved that goal. So I'm very happy about it.
All right, now Dr. Manish Purohit, let me just come to you, of course. Thank you so much for staying on with us. What a moment we've witnessed this morning. How are you feeling, sir?
See, actually, it's always a pleasure to watch a launch of LVM3 because it has been performing awesomely well. And when we were going through the launch and then there were, predicted values on the graph and the charting of the trajectory, what real-time data we were getting from the telemetry of the launch vehicle, and it was aligned so perfectly. And the best part is when our chairman sir announced that the intended orbit and the orbit achieved, they differ by just a small number, 1.5 kilometers. So this is the kind of precision that we promise to the global market when you talk about the launch of any satellite, any payload for any customer. And LVM3 has been at the forefront of that kind of a performance. Right now, there is one more very important thing that we should look into is that we have been able to launch back-to-back 2 LVM3s, 2 Bahubalis at a gap of around 50 days. Means we have the capability to increase our launch cadence. We have shown this to the world that yes, we can have multiple launches in a complete 1 year. Like, the aim for next 5 years is that we should have at least 50 launches in next 5 years. So that means around 10 launches per year. And that kind of a performance needs a whole lot of support, as Nambi Narayanan sir has already pointed out that many startups are coming up and they need the hand-holding, they need the guidance from the veterans, the experienced fellows who have that understanding of each peculiarity of the launches. And surely there will be something that will be done to bring those startups to the forefront where we can improve the launch cadence. Just to put in perspective, India has seen few launches this year, while SpaceX has seen more than 100 launches in the year 2025. So still, again, I'll say a long way to go for our space economy, the space sector of India. But yes, we are catching up fast.
All right, now all three, thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. Of course, what an action-packed morning it has been, and I'm sure everyone watching who's witnessed this moment is equally elated. Thank you so much for joining me on the broadcast. All right, and with that, we're going to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18 with me, Hemkaur Saraya. Do stay tuned.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, now let's get to the top story that we are tracking in this bulletin. ISRO will launch a communication satellite BlueBird Block-2 shortly. The satellite of AST SpaceMobile of the USA will be the largest commercial communication satellite to reach the low Earth orbit in LVM-3 M6. It is part of a next generation of BlueBird Block-2 communication satellites designed to provide space-based cellular broadband connectivity directly to standard mobile smartphones. Launch Vehicle Mark III or LVM-3, developed by ISRO, is a three-stage launch vehicle earlier used to launch Chandrayaan-2 and 3 and two OneWeb missions carrying 72 satellites.
India's premier space agency, ISRO, is all set to launch the BlueBird Block-2 satellite on December 24th, Christmas Eve at 8:54 a.m. This will happen from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. It's part of the launch vehicle Mark III M6 mission. India is set to achieve another major milestone this time in commercial launches with this upcoming mission. And for the first time, India's heavy lift rocket will launch a large US commercial satellite, BlueBird 6, highlighting the country's growing credibility as a global space launch partner. This satellite deployment promises to bring mobile service to some of Earth's most remote locations, stretching into the Himalayas, traversing oceans and cutting across deserts. This is how it will go. Thundering into the sky is going to be the LMV-3, ISRO's heaviest launch vehicle known as Bahubali. That has powered India's several missions, which is going to be taking off at 8:54 a.m. The proven heavy lift rocket with a payload capacity of 10 tons has already launched Chandrayaan missions and multiple OneWeb satellites. Now it will carry the heaviest ever US satellite nicknamed BlueBird 6. This is the 9th mission as far as LVM-3 goes. BlueBird Block-2 will mark the 101st launch of ISRO and the first venture of the Indian Space Agency in 2025. It is going to happen here on 24th of December from Sriharikota. And what exactly does it aim to do? The BlueBird 6 satellite weighs about 6.5 tons. It's built by the American firm AST SpaceMobile. Its mission is to create a space-based cellular broadband network, connecting mobile phones directly via this satellite. After entering the orbit successfully, BlueBird Block-2 will deploy its 223 square meter phased array antenna. That will set the record for the largest commercial communication antenna in low Earth orbit. This will mark a major leap in global satellite communications as well. Now, what about this particular mission and what about this particular satellite is so important? It's engineered to form over 5,600 individual signal cells. The BlueBird Block-2 will project connectivity directly to unmodified mobile handsets. The satellite is a game changer really because this BlueBird 6 enables direct satellite to mobile connectivity. No ground towers are required. There are no special devices that are required either. No modified phones, just simple regular handsets which will be connecting straight from space. Its mission focuses on remote and undeserved regions, bringing coverage where networks don't really exist at the moment. And powering it all is one of the largest antennas ever deployed in space, making global space-based cellular broadband a reality. If this satellite constellation performs as planned, it could help bridge the digital divide worldwide. Now, this mission is a milestone specifically for India and for ISRO as well because this marks the first launch of a large US commercial satellite from Indian soil. The successful deployment will strengthen India's presence in the global space market. It enhances LVM-3's credibility for heavy international payloads and reinforces the collaboration that India has with the United States in advanced space technology. If the satellite constellation functions as intended, it could bridge the digital divide worldwide. It could enable emergency communications and expand mobile connectivity in underserved regions. As far as the LVM-3 M6 mission is concerned, India is now signaling its technological prowess and its readiness to handle high-value international missions. With this mission, India will underline its growing importance as a trusted global space launch partner in this collaboration with India and the United States.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
All right, now let's get to the top story that we are tracking in this bulletin. ISRO will launch a communication satellite BlueBird Block-2 shortly. The The satellite of AST SpaceMobile of the USA will be the largest commercial communication satellite to reach the low Earth orbit in LVM-3 M6. It is part of a next generation of BlueBird Block-2 communication satellites designed to provide space-based cellular broadband connectivity directly to standard mobile smartphones. Launch Vehicle Mark III or LVM-3, developed by ISRO, is a three-stage launch vehicle earlier used to launch Chandrayaan 2 and 3 and two OneWeb missions carrying 72 satellites.
India's premier space agency, ISRO, is all set to launch the BlueBird Block-2 satellite on December 24th, Christmas Eve at 8:54 a.m. This will happen from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota. It's part of the launch vehicle Mark III M6 mission. India is set to achieve another major milestone this time in commercial launches with this upcoming mission. And for the first time, India's heavy lift rocket will launch a large US commercial satellite, BlueBird 6, highlighting the country's growing credibility as a global space launch partner. This satellite deployment promises to bring mobile service to some of Earth's most remote locations, stretching into the Himalayas, traversing oceans and cutting across deserts. This is how it will go. Thundering into the sky is going to be the LMV-3, ISRO's heaviest launch vehicle known as Bahubali. That has powered India's several missions, which is going to be taking off at 8:54 a.m. The proven heavy lift rocket with a payload capacity of
Welcome back to CNN News 18. Thank you so much for staying with us. Now here's the breaking that we're getting for you right now. Usman Hadi's brother has warned Yunus to hold timely elections, claiming that Usman Hadi was killed in a bid to delay election. This effectively blows the lid off Yunus's blame on India for Hadi's killing. Listen to this.
আপনারাই ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করিয়েছেন, আবার আপনারাই এটাকে ইস্যু করে নির্বাচন বানচাল করার চেষ্টা করতেছেন। আপনারা যারা রাষ্ট্র ক্ষমতায় থাকাকালীন অবস্থায় ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করা হয়েছে, এই হত্যার দায় আপনারা এড়াতে পারবেন না। আপনাদেরও বিচার হবে। শহীদ ওসমান হাদির গোটা খুনি চক্রকে জাতির সামনে উপস্থাপন করুন। একটা জিনিস আপনারা মনে রাখবেন, বাংলাদেশের জুলাই বিপ্লবের আগে যারা ক্ষমতাধর ছিলেন, যারা রাষ্ট্রকে নিজেদের মনে করতেন, তারা কিন্তু আজকে কেউই বাংলাদেশে নাই।
All right, so this is the big claim by Usman Hadi's brother, who is saying that in light of what has happened in Dhaka, election should be held timely, and he's saying that Usman Hadi's killing was in fact a bid to delay elections. So huge allegations there, but what it does effectively is blow the lid off Yunus's blame on India for Hadi's killing. Now for more on this, we have Kamalika Sen Gupta live with us. Kamalika, thank you so much for joining me. Good morning. Of course, huge claim here, this after the BNP's claims that we heard of Jamaat's link in Hadi's killing. Also, how do you assess this?
This is something, it is a Frankenstein of Muhammad Yunus, which is falling on Muhammad Yunus itself. The fact is, it is not only that the others, the international fraternity is criticizing, but it is also those people like Usman Hadi's family, his brother's comment, that it has happened under your regime. It is true that because this is the regime of Yunus. Law and order is subject of Yunus. Yunus is responsible for this. Yunus could not give protection to Usman Hadi, and that's why he is responsible. Clearly, his brother has stated that this killing has taken place in his regime. So he has to take responsibility and act. The fact is, he's putting blame on India, he's putting blame on others based on social media or something. That does not get things. So this is something. This is something very important too, because they were actually firing it on the air. And he has also said that people who are like fascist, who has been very much oppressive, like Sheikh Hasina, They have to go out from the country. And if this continues, then they will also have to go out of the country. And the fact is that who does not want, this is the point which we have been raising from the very first day, that who are the people who will be happy to stall the election in Bangladesh? Is it Tunis? Because anyway, all the survey says that BNP is going to come into power. And then if not BNP, a little bit of support of Jamaat. But there is no chance that this students' revolution, whatever they say, that will come into power or somebody else. So what is the locus standi of Yunus to be in the chair? So Yunus might not, it might be a plot of Yunus. All these things are doing the rounds, and the fact that Osman Hadi's brother has come up with such a statement, this is something which is very important.
Absolutely, Malika. These are huge allegations which have been made, and in light of all the reports that have been coming out, the various allegations that we've heard of also, all fingers point to Yunus at this point. We've seen the absolute chaos and volatility that has ensued in Bangladesh ever since he took over. That being said, of course, all eyes on the elections which are expected in February. Malika, going forward, what do you think happens next?
We'll have to really see how election takes place here. And not only Hadi, another also student leader, he was also shot. So we'll have to really see how the law and order situation is there. We know that there is an international pressure also now. The situation of minorities out there is bad. So there is a complete anarchy in Bangladesh. There's no doubt on that. That who is looking after the law, who is, everything seems to be very disintegrated. There is a chaos on road. So in such a situation, is it possible to have election? But election is important because this is a government which is not elected but selected. Who have selected? All the students have selected. So right now, Bangladesh needs democracy. And that's why election is very much important. Who are the people who, and India has always said that India is with Bangladesh to establish peace there, and India has a good relation. That has always been pointed out. But of late, the things which are happening, that is something which is very bad. The minorities are being tortured. The Indians are being tortured. We have been speaking to a lot of people. We have done the interview of that Sarot player. He said to me that, Madam, we cannot say there that we are Indians. We had to speak the dictum of Bangal, which we say. It's a dictum which the Bangladesh people use. So this is not something which is normal. Democracy needs to be restored in that place. And in that way, the point that has been raised by Osman Hadi's brother is legitimate. He is the ruler, so he has to find out the killers. Why is unable to find out the killers? That is his problem, and that is his duty and responsibility. And the people will actually should ask and raise questions against Yunus, that why Yunus is unable to get anybody, after this murder.
All right, Kamalika, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. We'll, of course, keep a close eye on all that is happening in Bangladesh. Let's shift our focus for now. 30-year-old woman, Himanshi Khurana, was found dead in her home after being reported missing late on Friday night. Toronto police have classified her death as a homicide, believed to involve intimate partner violence. Authorities are also searching for 32-year-old Abdul Ghafoori of Toronto, who is known to the victim and is wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for first-degree murder. Meanwhile, India's consulate in Toronto has confirmed that it is assisting Khurana's family, remaining in close contact with local authorities and providing all possible support. So chilling news coming from Canada here. These are the charges which have been made. Indian origin woman who was murdered in Canada is what we're hearing of. A 30-year-old Himanshi Khurana found dead in her home after being reported missing on Friday night. Toronto police have classified her death as a homicide believed to involve intimate partner violence. For more on this, we're now being joined by Akanksha Sarup. Akanksha, good morning. Now, this is the chilling news of 30-year-old Himanshi Khurana was found dead in her home. It's believed to be a result of intimate partner violence. Akanksha, what can you tell us?
Right now, we can only go by the news release that has been released by the Stratton Avenue and Wellington Homicide Investigation Police. And what that is stating him is that it's being alleged that the victim over here, which is, of course, as you rightly highlighted, Himani Khurana of 30 years of age, went missing on Saturday, December 20th. At approximately 6:30 a.m., officers located the missing female deceased inside a residence. And the death has been classified as a homicide case. The victim and suspect are known to each other. And as you rightly highlighted, reports are indicating that this could be a case of violence, since both were known to each other. The suspect, as we all know, has been identified as Abdul Ghafoori, who's 32 years of age, from Toronto. He is wanted on a Canada-wide warrant for first-degree murder. The image, as we could be showing on our screens also, has already been released of the suspect. And we'll have to see what exactly led to this murder after perhaps the police are able to zero in on the suspect Abdul Ghafoori and be able to ascertain what was the nature of that relationship, since both were known to each other. Were they just friends, or was there any romantic involvement? All of that is yet to be ascertained. And if indeed she has been murdered by Abdul Ghafoori, right now he is still a suspect. But this is Toronto's 40th homicide case this year alone. And Himanshi Khurana was all of 30. And there have been targeted killings in Canada, across India. We see across the world, in fact, not just Canada, UK. You're also seeing some happen in Australia. And Canada particularly has been reporting a lot of racial attacks, even in the US. So we'll have to see if this is a case which, in fact, involves any kind of a targeted killing, or was this just about a relationship going awry. All of that confirmation is awaited right now by the Toronto police him.
All right, Akanksha, thank you so much for bringing us the latest on this. Now with that, we're going to slip into a very short break, but don't go anywhere. News and updates will continue on the other side on CNN News 18. Do stay tuned.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Let's just go across to Dr. Gartachar first. Now, Doctor, it is mission accomplished. Of course, beyond the scientific jargon there, we also heard the ISRO chief announcing the success of this mission. If you could just tell, for the benefit of our viewers, what this really means for India.
Okay, this question is for me. I think there's a great confidence that has been vested in ISRO community, the launch vehicle team, as well as the other ground support system, and the safety and other related ground stations, as well as support throughout the world. Not only whenever we launch a satellite, it's not only just a launch vehicle tracked from Sriharikota or Indian ground station, but the support comes from the entire global community, where we have our own ISTRAC satellite ground station, ground control points, as well as supported by they are supported by other agencies with whom we have collaboration to ensure every small details are properly tracked, and every moment is reported suitably to take any action required by the team. So this is a great moment for all of us. Again, I'm telling you that second time that, of course, this is a very, very, as Chairman ISRO said, the reward of the work is more work. Reward of the work is more work. That means people have confidence in us. The global community has seen that we can perform, and it's a very important and very also encouraging moment, and very pride moment for the whole country, that we have been able to launch so many satellites. I was listening to Chairman's, according to his words, it's 34 countries. 34 countries around the globe have been able to able to depend on, I should say, have confidence in our launch vehicle. So whether low Earth orbit or even geosynchronous satellite orbit. We have the capability, and we have launched the highest mass, almost 6,600 plus 6,000 tons, 6,000 plus tons, and of course the low Earth orbit, 500 plus kilometers. We can launch even higher to higher orbits. Of course, they'll slightly reduce the payload weight, and that shows our confidence and our confidence, the world's space agency's confidence. Now, this system LVM-3, I should say, it will be announced by ISRO. That is an operational system. An operational system is we should have normally.
Right.
Understanding is successive 3 successes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, we also have with us Mr. Nambi Narayanan, former ISRO scientist. Thank you so much for joining us, sir. Of course, a huge moment for India. This is obviously a display of India's prowess in the space sector. How do you assess this moment? How are you feeling, sir?
Certainly, I am very happy. And what should I say? That this is the moment for which we were waiting for. Actually, this is the third commercial launch for this vehicle. And this demonstrates that we are capable of lifting a very heavy payload to the low Earth orbit and also meet the requirements of the client, who is an American company. Now, this will continue. Now this guy, after seeing this is successful, and I don't know the cost of it, but the cost, I'm sure it will be cheaper than any other cost which others are going to quote. So it's a huge success for us, and also it will enable us to earn a lot of money from international community. Now that's what I am happy about.
All right. All right. Now, Dr. Narayanan, just to now further to that, just to expand on that also, what the ISRO chief said, the reward for good work is more work, and the work for the BlueBird 6 is only just begun. What are some of the things that you will be looking out for now that it has been injected into its designated orbit?
Well, as Narayanan said, it is reward is more work. It is true, but more work means you need more money, and I think ISRO has rightly chosen the private partners, private companies, to share some of the workload of ISRO, which will certainly help us a lot, because we don't have to worry about it. But here the problem is the companies need experienced and most probably some of the retired ISRO engineers or some of the engineers who are about to retire. There must be some understanding. With that, even the people who can continue to work in ISRO can be deputed to work in the company. Because
good morning and a warm welcome. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Grihatul. Let's begin with the headlines first. 5 days after he was lynched, Yunus' colleague meets Deepu Das's family, gives hollow assurance as Hindus continue to be hounded in Dhaka. Outrage over Deepu's killing grows. BJP urges Hindus to block Bangladesh border in Bengal to protest atrocities. Violence erupts in Assam's West Karbi Anglong. Tribals clash with alleged illegal settlers. Internet suspended. DGP attacked. High Court suspends former MLA's life term, but he remains in jail in another case. AIADMK proposes contesting 170 seats for the Tamil Nadu elections, offering over 30 to BJP. Saffron Party pushes for more. Aam Aadmi Party trains guns on Delhi. Environment Minister Manjinder Singh Sirsa posts pictures of him using top-end air purifier while citizens gasp for fresh air. ISRO's LVM-3 rockets BlueBird into space from Sriharikota, deploying India's largest commercial communication satellite in low Earth orbit. Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli return to domestic cricket in Vijay Hazare Trophy for Mumbai and Delhi respectively. Let's begin with our top focus story as Islamists' free run in Bangladesh continues. Now, Usman Hadi's brother has gone on to warn Muhammad Yunus to ensure timely elections in the country, claiming that Usman Hadi was killed deliberately to delay the polls. His statement has challenged Yunus's regime earlier claim that were made that India was responsible for the killing of Hadi, providing strong evidence that India was scapegoated in the political narrative surrounding Hadi's death. This revelation exposes attempts to manipulate public perception and raises questions about accountability and also the real motives behind the murder. Meanwhile, Islamists continue to set the terms. A wave of diktats have been issued, from asking him to punish Hadi's killer or flee the country to demanding Home Advisor Jahangir Alam Chaudhry's resignation and even threatening TV channels. FIRs are also there in place. But first, listen in to what Hadi's brother really said that changes the entire political dynamics in Bangladesh.
আপনারাই ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করিয়েছেন, আবার আপনারা এটাকে ইস্যু করে নির্বাচন বানচাল করার চেষ্টা করতেছেন। আপনারা যারা রাষ্ট্র ক্ষমতায় থাকাকালীন অবস্থায় ওসমান হাদিকে হত্যা করা হয়েছে, এই হত্যার দায় আপনারা এড়াতে পারবেন না। আপনাদেরও বিচার হবে। শহীদ ওসমান হাদির গোটা খুনি চক্রকে জাতির সামনে উপস্থাপন করুন। একটা জিনিস আপনারা মনে রাখবেন, বাংলাদেশের জুলাই বিপ্লবের আগে যারা ক্ষমতাধর ছিলেন, যারা রাষ্ট্রকে নিজেদের মনে করতেন, তারা কিন্তু আজকে কেউই বাংলাদেশে নাই।
Remember, this is the latest statement that is coming in from Usman Hadi's real brother. He goes on to accuse the Yunus regime of orchestrating the killing of Usman Hadi. All this because they want to go ahead and delay the February 2026 elections, despite the assurances that are coming in from the Yunus regime. Everything seems to have done a complete turnaround after this revelation by Usman Hadi's brother. This changes everything. Yunus must take responsibility for Usman Hadi's death is the first big claim that his brother is making, and he also goes on to go ahead and call out Yunus that he should bring all the perpetrators of Usman Hadi's death to justice. My colleague Sami Al-Mehdi is now with us on the broadcast. Sami, this latest statement that's coming in from Usman Hadi's real brother, this changes everything. The political dynamics in the country also has undergone this root shock. What one must expect after the statement has been made, and any responses so far from the Muhammad Yunus regime?
Sorry, the fact is from the Inkilab Moncho, they are very much emotional whenever they talk. And in several times they say different types of things. Sometimes they accuse him, sometimes they accuse them. And the reality is, whatever I said yesterday, that their ultimatum or demands are changing day by day. First of all, they gave a 24 hours ultimatum, then again. Sometimes they say that election will be held in this, just at the same time the government tell. And again, they are telling that the election can be happen without the justice. But the reality is right now, all focus are actually shifted to the return of Tariq Rahman. So far, the government hasn't responded to any particular sentences or quotes given by Inkilab Moncho or any other entities. The government still now, the government is saying or responding to all the incidents in a generic way. That is the fact that it's like the government is saying that whoever does these kinds of heinous crimes will be brought under justice within a very short time. We'll do the election in the time which was proposed. And yesterday, I also heard that the finance advisor, Mr. Salauddin Ahmed, he told that some groups anti-rhetoric India statements doesn't present government's actual position or actual feelings about the relation with India. And he expressed his optimism that these kinds of tensions or situations will be eased, because the CA is already trying to ease the political strains between these neighboring countries. That is the situation.
Right, absolutely. Do stay with us, Sami. We also have our colleague Kamalika Sen-Gupta, who's now joining us on the broadcast. Kamalika, a lot of chatter around keeping the borders really, in fact, closed, so that there is no movement from that side of the border. And that's something that is also now really growing, considering the anti-India narrative that is really pervasive in Bangladesh.
Well, definitely there has been a high alert all over the all this northeastern and also specifically Bengal in all these areas. We know that in Bengal near about a little more than 400 kilometers is unfenced also. So high alert is there. High alert has been given there, and today specifically BJP is going to lodge a protest in these areas. Like
Kamalika? All right, seem to have lost that link with Kamalika, but remember, lots is happening. That entire free run that one is talking about as far as the Mohammad Yunus regime and the kind of lawlessness under the Yunus regime that continues. And in the wake of all this, there is this statement that has been made by Hadi's brother warning Mohammad Yunus to ensure timely elections in the country, and also claiming that Usman Hadi was killed deliberately to delay the polls. Now, Sami Al-Mehdi also continues to be with us on the broadcast. Sami, any follow-ups that are coming in now that the Inqilab Moncho has come up with this particular statement, Hadi's own brother really saying something to that account, in a sense also going ahead and directly accusing the Mohammad Yunus regime of this killing of Usman Hadi. The fact that the kind of versions that had come from Bangladesh were pointing fingers at India. Now there is a fact check that is coming from the Bangladeshi soil. What does Yunus have to say about that?
Well, what I said that the government never mentioned any kinds of particular group statement. Okay, like some particular group tells like the government does these things, and the government responses to that particular statement. So far, Inqilab Moncho's any kinds of statement made by the Inqilab Moncho, government didn't respond quoting Inqilab Moncho. They responded generically. And I have heard the Inqilab Moncho members, whenever they made their statements or speeches in different occasions, those are not, always similar. Because today they are saying something, and just the day after tomorrow they will say something different. So yet the government haven't responded anything like this. But the Inqilab Moncho during the gathering of Shohid Minar, they actually stated very clearly that they want the justice for Hadi, and if the government cannot deliver this justice, then they will, they will do strikes. They will try to pressurize the government or everything, because they don't care anything after the revolution. That was their voice actually. But just after the day of that particular mobilization in the Shahid Minar, they said that they are giving the government 30 days time to solve this. So the fact is definitely every words and every situation is getting different time to time because of the election, and the election is the most important thing right now, and different types of voice and different type of statements will come.
Okay. Right, absolutely. Sami, we'll keep coming back to you because a lot of developments happening from Bangladesh. Another update that we have for our viewers, we're learning that 5 US lawmakers have written to Mohammad Yunus expressing concerns amid the crisis in Bangladesh. US lawmakers have urged Bangladesh's interim advisor, Dr. Mohammad Yunus, to create conditions for free and fair elections expected in February next year, while expressing concern over the suspension of any political party, referring to the Awami League. And the letter also goes on to warn that banning political parties or reviving the International Crimes Tribunal in its earlier flawed form could undermine democracy. Meanwhile, India on Tuesday summoned the Bangladesh High Commissioner Riaz Hamidullah hours after Bangladesh's foreign ministry summoned his Indian counterpart Pranay Verma to express Dhaka's, quote, grave concern over a series of incidents in India targeting Bangladeshi diplomatic missions. This is the second time, remember, the Bangladeshi envoy to India, Hamidullah, was summoned by the Indian government amid tense ties between the two nations following violent anti-India protests in several parts of Bangladesh. Luckily, Kamalika Sen Gupta is now back with us on the broadcast. Kamalika, too many developments that are happening. First of all, about these US lawmakers writing to the UNIS regime. Any responses that one is hearing of?
Right now, till we have not, there is no response from the Bangladesh government. But this letter from the lawmakers of US, one thing is very clear that now there is an international pressure which is now on UNIS. You are just like banning one political party without even giving it a chance. That is something, you know, in a democracy, whether there might be differences in ideology, there might be differences in various things. But banning a political party, however, that is right. This is something which the international community has started questioning. And the US lawmakers, they have sent a letter, and it's clearly written in that letter that the election should be free and fair, because Bangladesh is a democracy and they should maintain the ethos, the culture, the rules of a democracy, and that means an inclusive election. So for that thing, this letter is very important because the international fraternity has started. We know that the other organizations have also started writing letters, and they have condemned that how Prothomalo and how Daily Star, all these were attacked. International journalist community have also reacting. And here, specifically on election, when this reaction comes from the lawmakers, this is something very, very significant. Now, inside home, there is pressure on UNIS on the killing of Osman Hadi. We'll have to really see that Tariq Rahman is coming, the BNP chief. That is also very important, how things change after he comes. But right now, this international pressure is something which is building on UNIS.
All right. Kamalika, thank you so much for all of those inputs. We are now shifting our focus. We're getting some breaking news on the broadcast. As Delhi grapples with toxic smog, Union Minister Nitin Gadkari has gone on to acknowledge that the transport sector is a major contributor to pollution, accounting for around 40% of the city's air pollution. He's also stressed on an urgent need to reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Gadkari also highlighted India's annual expenditure of nearly 22 lakh crores on imports and questioned the sustainability of such dependence. We are also learning that he's called for promoting electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles to achieve zero pollution and linked this entire move to form a form of true nationalism, in fact. Reducing imports while boosting exports was also something that the Union Minister highlighted. So remember, even as Delhi is reeling under the toxic air and the AQI is sharply plummeting and the numbers really read beyond 400, this is a statement that has come in from Union Minister Nitin Gadkari. Listen in.
मैं 2 दिन मुश्किल से रहता हूँ, इन्फेक्शन हो गया। ये दिल्ली पूरा प्रदूषण से त्रस्त क्यों है? मैं ट्रांसपोर्ट मंत्री हूँ, 40% हमारे कारण होता है, क्योंकि ये फॉसिल फ्यूल, पेट्रोल, डीजल। सुदर्शन जी कितने बार मुझे कहते थे कि इस देश का किसान अन्नदाता नहीं ऊर्जादाता बनेगा, ईंधन दाता बनेगा, हवाई ईंधन दाता बनेगा। अब सब बन गया, बिटुमिन भी बन गया, पर कोई विश्वास रखने के लिए तैयार नहीं। और आज भी इतना 22 लाख करोड़ हम खर्चा कर रहे हैं। अब ये राष्ट्रवाद कैसा होगा? इस देश में 22 लाख करोड़ रुपए हम लोग फॉसिल फ्यूल इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, देश में प्रदूषण दे रहे हैं।
The reliance on fossil fuels needs to go, and this is the very, very pointed statement that has been made by Nitin Gadkari, where he's talking about how India's annual expenditure of fossil fuel imports is nearly up to the tune of 22 lakh crore rupees, and that is what is adding to the pollution every year in the NCR region. He also, in fact, has gone on to highlight how one must promote electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles to achieve zero pollution, and also link this entire move as the true spirit of nationalism. So this is what has been said by the Union Transport Minister, where he has acknowledged that it is the vehicular pollution that contributes to about 40% of the pollution, which is more than the permissible limit, which contributes in fact putting the AQI to the hazardous levels. And he's also gone on to urge that there must be a promotion of electric vehicles, hydrogen-powered vehicles to achieve zero pollution. Let's listen into that reaction once again.
मैं 2 दिन मुश्किल से रहता हूँ, इन्फेक्शन हो गया। ये दिल्ली पूरा प्रदूषण से त्रस्त क्यों है? मैं ट्रांसपोर्ट मंत्री हूं, 40% हमारे कारण होता है, क्योंकि ये फॉसिल फ्यूल, पेट्रोल, डीजल। सुदर्शन जी कितने बार मुझे कहते थे कि इस देश का किसान अन्नदाता नहीं ऊर्जादाता बनेगा, ईंधनदाता बनेगा, हवाई ईंधनदाता बनेगा। अब सब बन गया, बिटुमिन भी बन गया, पर कोई विश्वास रखने के लिए तैयार नहीं। और आज भी इतना 22 लाख करोड़ हम खर्चा कर रहे हैं। अब ये राष्ट्रवाद कैसा होगा? इस देश में 22 लाख करोड़ रुपए हम लोग फॉसिल फ्यूल इंपोर्ट कर रहे हैं, देश में प्रदूषण दे रहे हैं।
Let me take this across to my colleague Arun Dhanta, who's joining us on the broadcast. Arun, that's a big statement to be made by the Union Minister, Mr. Gadkari. He also says that reduce fossil fuel imports and be more reliant on electric and hydrogen-powered vehicles.
Well, that's right, and it is coming from the Union Road and Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari's side when he says that whenever he is in Delhi for 2-3 days, he gets infection due to the pollution. It's a big statement coming from the Union Minister's side, and also, of course, he's highlighting this fact that vehicular pollution is topping the chart. 40% of the pollution in Delhi comes from the vehicles, although we do not have any concrete study on this, that as to what contributes majorly to the Delhi pollution, but their minister Nitin Gadkari very potently highlighting this factor, and he's somebody who's been pitching for the electric vehicles or hydrogen powered vehicle. In fact, he himself drive in hydro powered vehicle, and I think this is the one of the biggest concerns that the people of Delhi are facing these days. Every winter this is the problem which people of Delhi are facing, and once again we are seeing that the union the Delhi Environment Minister in fact apologizing for what is happening in Delhi, and they're also saying here that in 7-8 months they cannot curb pollution. It will take time. It's a long process, but the big thing here is that Nitin Gadkari, of course, coming out, because we haven't heard somebody at a level of Nitin Gadkari speaking in this manner and saying that when he stays in Delhi, he gets that infection. So I think it's a big reaction coming from Nitin Gadkari's side. He's also saying that country is spending 22 lakh crore on the fossil fuel that we are getting from outside, and therefore he's once again putting out this point forward that we need to really focus on the electronic vehicles and hydropower vehicles, and that is going to be the true nationalism.
Right. Also, Arun, there is a lot of back and forth that is happening between the Aam Aadmi Party and the Delhi government under the Bharatiya Janata Party. Why not bring in the odd even? Now that the Transport Minister has underlined how vehicular pollution is a significant contributor to the plummeting AQI that the NCR region really is saying, why not bring that on? What is the BJP saying about it?
Well, see, there are 2-3 points here. Of course, even in the past, we had seen that odd-even formula was applied, but that has not been the largest solution for it. And in fact, when questions were asked about this to the Environment Minister of Delhi, he was, of course, apologizing first. Secondly, saying that whatever best they could do in this period, they are doing. In fact, they're putting the entire blame on Aam Aadmi Party's rule of 11 years. Remember, yesterday, Griha, there was a letter which was written by Lieutenant Governor of Delhi to Arvind Kejriwal, once again highlighting this point, saying that if Delhi is facing this pollution problem in the capital these days, it is because of your misrule. And in fact, he also cited an instance where Arvind Kejriwal would tell him that it's just a matter of 15-20 days where media is talking about it. After that, nobody is going to speak about it, neither media nor the NGOs. So we are seeing this politics, of course, is taking place at this point. BJP, who's in power in Delhi, blaming the Aam Aadmi Party on this. On the other side, of course, we are seeing that BJP is putting that blame and Aam Aadmi Party is blaming to the Delhi government.
Absolutely, Arun. Thank you so much for all of those details there. Remember, there is the back and forth between Aam Aadmi Party and BJP continues. Aam Aadmi, in fact, putting out that visual of the Environment Minister, Mr. Sirsa, using high-quality air purifiers while Delhi grapples from toxic air. And now the statement by Union Transport Minister, Mr. Gadkari. We go into a very short break with that.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Let's just go across to Dr. Gartachar first. Now, Doctor, it is mission accomplished. Of course, beyond the scientific jargon there, we also heard the ISRO chief announcing the success of this mission. If you could just tell, for the benefit of our viewers, what this really means for India.
Okay, this question is for me. I think there's a great confidence that has been vested in ISRO community, the launch vehicle team, as well as the other ground support system, and the safety and the other related ground stations, as well as support throughout the world. Not only whenever we launch a satellite, it's not only just a launch vehicle tracked from Sriharikota or Indian ground station, but the support comes from the entire global community, where we have our own ISTRAC satellite ground station, ground control points, as well as supported by they are supported by other agencies with whom we have collaboration to ensure every small details are properly tracked, and every moment is reported suitably to take any action required by the team. So this is a great moment for all of us. Again, I'm telling you that second time that, of course, this is a very, very, as Chairman ISRO said, the reward of the work is more work. Reward of the work is more work. That means the people have confidence in us. The global community has seen that we can perform, and it's a very important and very encouraging moment and very pride moment for the whole country, that we have been able to launch so many satellites. I was listening to Chairman's, according to his words, it's 34 countries. 34 countries around the globe have been able to able to depend on, I should say, have confidence in our launch vehicle. So whether low Earth orbit or even geosynchronous satellite orbit, we have the capability, and we have launched the highest mass, almost 6,000 plus tons, and of course the low Earth orbit, 500 plus kilometers. We can launch even higher to higher orbits. Of course, they'll slightly reduce the payload weight, and that shows our confidence and our confidence, the world's space agency's confidence. Now, this system LVM-3, I should say, it will be announced by ISRO. That is an operational system. An operational system is we should have normally.
Right.
Understanding is successive 3 successes. Thank you.
Absolutely. Now, we also have with us Mr. Nambi Narayanan, former ISRO scientist. Thank you so much.
Welcome back. You're watching CNN News 18 with me, Griha. Let's now talk about one of the biggest developments that have come out of a UP court that has now rejected the Uttar Pradesh state government's plea to withdraw charges against the accused in the 2015 lynching of Mohammad Akhlaq. But the fact that the Uttar Pradesh government under Yogi Adityanath did go to court asking for that withdrawal is what is travesty. The court, led by Additional District Judge Saurav Dwivedi, deemed the government's application baseless and directed the trial to proceed on a day-to-day basis. The incident occurred on September 28, 2015, remember, 10 years. This was when a mob, in fact, attacked Akhlaq's home in Bishada village, killing him over allegations of cow slaughter. The police had registered a case against 19 accused, including Vishal Rana, who was the son of a local BJP leader, under various sections of the IPC, including murder and attempt to murder. The state government, led by the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, had sought to withdraw these cases, citing reasons such as inconsistencies in witnesses' statements and also lack of prior enmity between the accused and the victim. However, the court rejected this plea, stating that it lacked solid legal grounds. The case has been posted for next hearing, and that will take place on the 6th of January next year. Akhlaq's family, who had moved to Delhi fearing hostility, welcomed the court's decision. The family's lawyer Yusuf Saifi hailed the ruling as a victory.
जो आज कोर्ट का फैसला आया है, इसको कैसे देखते हैं आप?
सही, कोर्ट का तो बहुत अच्छा फैसला है सर, इसमें तो कोई कहने की बात ही नहीं है, क्योंकि एक आम आदमी न्याय के लिए कोर्ट पे ही तो विश्वास रखता है सबसे ज्यादा
जी।
तो कोर्ट तो मैं समझता हूँ, अगर कोई गरीब आदमी है, बेसहारा आदमी, उसकी कोई सुनता नहीं है, प्रशासन नहीं सुनता है, सपोज पुलिस नहीं सुनती, तो फिर वो धमकी देता है कि मैं कोर्ट में तुम्हें देख लूंगा। जनरल सी बात कर रहा हूँ अमन साहब
जी।
तो जाहिर सी बात है कि कोर्ट पे हमें पूर्ण विश्वास है, शुरू से ही हम ये बात कहते आए हैं कि कोर्ट का जो भी फैसला होगा हमें मंजूर होगा।
तो जो यूपी गवर्नमेंट ने ये स्टेप लिया कि जाके कहा कि केस विड्रॉ किया जाए, ये किस कारण से हुआ आपको लगता है?
नहीं, सरकार हम तो ये सरकार ही बता सकती है भाई। जो आदमी एप्लीकेशन मूव कर रहा है, मतलब गवर्नर साहब के थ्रू हुई थी वो, मेरे ख्याल में उनके अप्रूवल के बाद, तो ये तो जाहिर सी बात है कि वो तो गवर्नमेंट ही बता सकती है सर, मैं थोड़ी ना बता सकती
जी। क्योंकि जब ये मूव हुआ तो आप काफी निराश थे?
नहीं सर, हम निराश नहीं थे। हाँ, एक ये अफसोसजनक भी था और कुछ एक्सेप्ट होने की बात नहीं है अमन साहब। एक तो अफसोसजनक बात थी कि ऐसा कभी हुआ नहीं है कि ऐसे केसेज में कभी भी मुकदमे वापसी टालने के लिए किसी सरकार ने पहल की हो, मैंने कभी नहीं सुना है ऐसे केसेज का मामला। तो कुछ अजीब सा जरूर लगा था कि भाई क्या ऐसा है। पर मुझे ये भी पता है साहब कि धारा या तो 41 है या कोई और है जिसके तहत देश के हर नागरिक को उस न्याय पाने का अधिकार भी है। एक धारा ये थी, मान लिए 321 या जो भी थी, जिसके तहत गवर्नमेंट ने वो अधिकार है कि वो केस वापस लेने के लिए कोर्ट में याचिका दे सकती है, तो उन्होंने दी। तो दूसरा एक धारा ये भी है सर कि भाई हर नागरिक को न्याय पाने का अधिकार भी है,
और
भी है सर।
और इतने साल हो गए जान मोहम्मद जी, मतलब केस तो कहीं पहुंचा भी नहीं लग रहा है, गवाहियां नहीं हो पाई हैं, सबको बेल मिल गया है इस केस में, तो आपको लगता है न्याय होगा?
हाँ बिल्कुल सर, मुझे तो कोर्ट पर पूर्ण विश्वास है। मुझे तो कोर्ट पे पूर्ण विश्वास है, मुझे नहीं, मेरी पूरी फैमिली की बात कर रहा हूँ सर, और मैं समझ देश का विश्वास भी कोर्ट पे है सर।
And my colleague Anshul now joins us from the Bisada village, Akhlaq's earlier home. We have been telling you how the family has now come to the national capital fearing hostilities. But this is a big development, Anshul, that has come in from the Uttar Pradesh court. The grounds on which the Uttar Pradesh government really appealed to the court, asking for the dismissal, what was that?
Well, definitely, this is a big sigh of relief for the entire family, because remember, it has been more than 10 years since the incident happened at this very location at which I am standing. This is the residence of Akhlaq, from where he was allegedly dragged out after the rumor fled across the entire village that cow slaughter has happened over here, and it is from this location where this entire controversy had broken out. Now, in the month of October itself, the court, in fact, the UP government, in fact, was of the opinion opinion that they will not be able to sustain this case anymore, as in their investigation there have been several discrepancies that have come out. For example, the UP government went ahead and said that there have been discrepancies in the statements of the witnesses. Now remember, there was a huge mob that has conducted this entire crime, so definitely there were discrepancies in the eyewitnesses as to who were the exact people who were involved, due to which the death had happened. Apart from this, the UP government also said that there was no sharp objects or bullets that were found from anywhere close to the residence, which could actually point out that this was a pre-planned killing that had happened. But on the other hand, the family was still of the opinion that this entire lynching was a clear case of murder, and hence it should be heard in the right sense and in the right manner. And this is what the UP court has gone ahead and accepted at this point in time. They have very clearly stated that the arguments that have been put forth from the side of the UP government are actually baseless at this point, and since this is a case of lynching, this needs to be investigated in the right manner. In fact, they have also raised, the UP government has, UP court has also gone ahead and raised questions on the speed in which this entire investigation and the hearing that has been happening, and they have ordered that a fast track hearing of this entire matter should also happen, in which each and every eyewitness should be examined in the right way, and all the evidence that has been provided, that should also be recorded as quickly as possible. So almost after a decade, when the UP government had given up of finding out the exact culprits behind the killing of Akhlaq out here in 2025 itself, finally the court has come down heavily on the UP government. Now after this order as well, it remains to be seen what kind of evidences will the UP administration be